Hey guys, so this is Sunday afternoon and I'm working on dinner. I just want to tell you a little story because I think some people think that like marriage is great, husbands are wonderful, and they are, but sometimes they do silly things. Like this week I knew I had a 4-day weekend, so Wednesday night I sat down, made a list of everything I wanted, thought about what we could make for dinners this weekend when I had the time to just sit and do it. Sorry. And so I wrote everything down, thought about what I was going to make, and really thought about, am I going to go the salsa, spaghetti type route, or the like baked chicken, and chicken fingers, French fries, hash browns type thing. I just kind of decided I wanted to go that route, like the baked chicken, fried chicken, hash brown, or French fries. I just thought that would be kind of a better fall type thing, kind of what I wanted. So I wrote on the list 2 kilos of potatoes and gave it to Pong. I was talking about it. He was laying next to me, playing his phone, of course. Laying next to me, I was talking about the things I was going to make, and, said get 2 types of chicken, get this, that, and the other. And then I came home from school on Thursday. I could not find the potatoes. But in the fridge was a giant bag of, here, just let me show you. I've only taken a few out. Giant bag of tomatoes. So I waited until Pong got home and I said, Pong, where are my potatoes? He said, you wanted potatoes? I said, yeah, that's what I wrote on the list. And he said, oh, I thought it was tomatoes. And so he bought me 2 kilos of tomatoes instead of 2 kilos of potatoes. So that's what international relationships do to you sometimes. You ask for potatoes, you get tomatoes, and then you end up making spaghetti. So sometimes they say make lemons out of lemonades, and I'm just gonna say you make spaghetti out of potatoes, apparently. So tonight we're having spaghetti instead of fried chicken, and life will go on. He did go and buy me potatoes the other day, so we did make baked potatoes and chicken yesterday? Friday? I think Friday. Friday I made baked chicken, and then the other problem was that when he bought so many tomatoes, we didn't have any. Here we have to use ground pork. So he had to go to the store then, or to the shop, not actually a store, but he had to go to the shop and buy both a half kilo of pork and the potatoes that I wanted, because we had chicken and we had tomatoes. So I guess I could have made spaghetti out of chicken, but we fixed it. I guess we compromised. So we did still have baked chicken the other day, and now we're gonna have spaghetti today. So just a little story, just a little insight into our lives, and maybe while I'm doing this, I am paying attention. I'm just also cutting these tomatoes, but just to kind of share maybe some things that have been on my heart, or the reasoning why I want to start doing some more like of these YouTube type posts, is that I think I'm like getting into a little bit of a rut. Like, I've been in Thailand for, it'll be 10 years in January, which is like, that's a long time. 10 years is a long time. And I think, like when I first came to Thailand, I was in Ayutthaya, then I was in Chiang Rai, and then I was home for 6 months, and then I came back here, and next month it will be 7 years since I've been here. Like, some of the kids that I'm teaching in 4th grade, they weren't even in school yet when I got here. So it's really, like, interesting, that, like, I've been here longer than them. Like, even the ones, like, I know the one teacher that had a child, like, a month or 2 after I got here. She was, like, heavily pregnant when I got here. Her son's in 1st grade. So it's been a long time since I've been here. And I think it's just kind of becoming normal, like, I have my own family here now. We're having the process, I guess you can say, of, like, trying to build a house. And so I think, like, I went for a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I just kind of was sitting in the van and just thinking about how trips used to be, like, so exciting. You'd see new things and see different parts of Thailand, see different parts of a country that you've never been to. And I think part of that newness, some of the excitement of it has worn off. Yes, like, it's not bad, but it's also kind of, like, made me start thinking about that I need to really consider and maybe rethink about the reasons why I'm here, and maybe rededicate myself to the purpose of being a missionary, to the purpose of teaching in Thailand. And this year has been a big change with COVID and the different things in the classroom, and then the other big difference is having 78 scholarship students instead of, my goal was always to just have 30. Last year I was at 36. And then this year, that's, like, more than doubled to 78. So that's, like, added a different aspect of life to how do you do that. And so I think I really just need to think and evaluate what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what God's purpose is, and also, the problem of students needing help, students needing scholarships isn't going to go away. And so just trying to figure out but maybe the better question is, what does God want me to do in this situation, and why has he put me here with this thing? So for people who maybe have caught part of this or who haven't caught part of this, our school is a Christian school. It's private, not public. So the students do have to pay tuition, which the elementary pay 2,400 baht a year, which is about 80 something. And then the middle school, 7th through 9th grade, they pay 4,000 a year, which is about 130. So when I got here, whenever the old director would have me write things up, we would write that about 80% of our students had scholarships. Because, just living in this remote area on the border, a lot of the families, they can't afford that much. Or some of the families, they have 3-4 kids, so they really can't afford that much in tuition. And then, but there were scholarship programs, the main ones being Vision Trust and Compassion. And then last year, I guess it's the beginning of this year, in like January and February, Vision Trust found out that their funding was being cut completely, like their program was being shut down in Thailand. And so that was the reason for asking for a bunch of scholarship this year. And you guys were awesome. So many people at home stepped up so that the middle schoolers that I was trying to help, I had more than enough scholarships and were able to help the elementary as well, which is great. It's awesome, but it you have to reconsider when you're only thinking of helping middle school, and then all of a sudden now you have elementary, so you have to rethink what you're doing. But then also, I need to be thinking about what we're going to do in the future, because Compassion has been saying for several years, and I'm not sure what the count is left. The original count was that Compassion was going to be in Thailand for 7 more years. So I think they're probably down to 4 or 5, if I can remember correctly, to when we first heard that. And so that is going to give the students, give the school another problem in 4 or 5 years. So yes, we have time to maybe think ahead a little bit, and I don't want to feel like I have to solve every problem, but you know, Esther says, who knows that I was here for such a time as this. And so sometimes, you know, I think I need to consider this is helping the students stay in school to be able to get a Christian education, finding ways to pay their tuition. Is that part of my purpose for being here? And then how do you go about that? I studied elementary education. I didn't study giving students scholarships, you know, like it's not really what I learned. So it's kind of like been a learn as you go, figuring things out. And so part of my thinking maybe is that if I can take videos, if I can maybe show you guys things in our life, probably kind of start with our daily life, and then maybe go on to our house, go on to our work. Maybe just if we can get people to feel like they know what's going on, so that people feel like they know what our work is, so that you know what our community is like, and things like that. You know, like maybe that will give people a better connection, and maybe that will make people want to help the students, or maybe people say, oh, no, maybe not. Hoping and praying that we can just maybe open up our lives a little bit, and let me get some more tomatoes. Opening up our lives a little bit and just being honest with people to show you guys what's going on. Show you guys, maybe today the idea is just to show you sometimes funny mistakes happen. Was I happy when it happened that I got 2 kilos of tomatoes instead of potatoes? No, but you just kind of have to laugh about it. And so I think I'll probably just title this video, Making Spaghetti Out of Potatoes. You know, and I think, you know, like that's just some of the things that, you know, maybe I used to would have thought it was funny, make a Facebook post, you know, things like that. But I think we're in a day and age of like, you know, Pong likes to watch YouTube videos, and I've gotten to watching this one, and they like sell palettes, but I love to watch their videos because they do ones where they open the palettes and show you what they got, but then they just do little vlogs throughout the week that they just show you what they're up to, and sometimes the things that they sold, the things that they're doing with their family. And I think, you know, in this day and age, maybe that's a good way to get people to kind of feel maybe more connected with us. And I think another thing that I'm feeling is I think in the past I've always kind of knew when our next trip home was gonna be. Sometimes we didn't know like exactly, but kind of had a time frame. And so I think something that COVID has taken away from us is we don't know. We don't know, like, sure, I'm an American, so I could put in a request, I could get away to get back home, but then I couldn't get back here. So we really have to wait until it's safe to go both ways. Wait until Thailand opens their borders, that they will let people back in. And I think for our comfort zone, you know, like that needs to be in place for a while before we go back home. So I think it's kind of a little a little stressful, you know, like not knowing when we can go back home. So maybe by doing this, we can help people feel a little more connected to us, and in that sense, we can feel a little more connected to home as well. So that's just a little bit of my thinking, and sorry if you're feeling like I'm not looking at the camera because I'm cutting tomatoes. Here, I'll show you how far I've gotten, and then I'll stop my rambling, try to post this in the next few days. This one I probably won't edit, but I have some that I have already recorded. We took some time last week. We rearranged the house a little bit. I told Pong my plan, and so when I was at school a couple of days, he was able to rearrange, get the table out that I did have set up as a sewing table back behind something. I just never used it because it was too dark. And so, yeah. So I cleared it off one night, and he was able to move everything around. So we got a computer from my classroom because the kids aren't using them as much this year. So I brought one home. If it looks like the kids need it again, then I'll take it back. But I brought a computer home so I can try to do some editing nights and weekends when Benjamin's sleeping or busy or whatever. So that's our goal. That's our newest project, maybe trying to feel connected, trying to let you guys feel connected to us, and maybe trying to find the spark of what is new, what's going on, what is God having us do. So that's just kind of what we're thinking about. I'll show you my tomatoes. I'll show you Benjamin. There's Benjamin. He's taking a nap. And then here's how many tomatoes I've cut so far. Probably still have more than twice that. But we're going to have spaghetti for dinner tonight, and it's going to be a good weekend. I have one more day off tomorrow, so maybe I'll get around to some editing. And we just want you guys to know that we love you. We pray for all of you guys, and we hope that you do the same for us, and we'll try to try to go into this technology era together and do some YouTubing. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Love you. God bless.